Hey everyone, welcome to part 119 of my Pokemon game series in Unity. So in this video, we'll create the page for showing the moves of the Pokemon in the summary screen, and we'll look at how to switch between the skills and moves page like this. Alright, so let's get started. So let's start creating the page for showing the moves of the Pokemon. So right now we only have the page for showing the skills of the Pokemon. So here we can also create another page for showing the moves. So all our page will be in this area inside the right content. So since our page for showing the moves will be similar to the skills page, we can actually duplicate this and create the moves page from this. So let me just rename this to Pokemon moves. Okay. And I'll just disable the skills page for now. All right. So we have to change all these things. So first of all, in the moves page, we don't need the XP bar. So I'll just delete the XP bar area. All right. And the rest of the UI will be similar to this. So I'm planning to create a page like this. So here we have two headers, one table and a description. Okay. So it is similar to this page. So we can just modify this one. So first I want to add some padding at the bottom because right now there is no space after this table. So let me add a padding like 30 at the bottom. That looks fine. So now we can change all the headings and tables and everything. So first I'll rename the stats heading to moves heading. Okay. I'll also change the text inside the heading area. And let me also change this. Okay. So similarly, we can also change the XP heading to description heading because this text will be used to show the description, right? Like this. And let me also change the text here. Okay. I'll also change this. So next we can change the tables. So this will be moves table instead of stats table. All right. So here we'll only have three columns, kind of like this, and we'll have four rows because we'll need to show four moves, right? So first let me remove the first column. So now we already have three columns. So we can just change the background color of this column to a bluish color. Okay. And for each column, we need four rows because we want to show four moves. So let me create four rows for each column. Okay. So the first column will be used for showing the type of the move. So here I'll just write type. The second column will be used for showing the name of the move. So I'll just write move name over here, just as a placeholder so that we know what will be shown here. And the final column will be used for showing the PP. So I'll just write something like PP 20 out of 20, just as a placeholder. All right. So this will be the table used for showing the moves of the Pokemon. So next, over here, we don't need a table for the description. We just need a single image, right? So I'll just rename the XP table to description box. And in here, we just need a single column. I'll actually delete the other one so that we have the white color. And we just need a single row. So here we don't need the vertical layout group or anything because we just have a single text. So I'll remove this and I'll make the row text cover the entire box. with a little bit of padding on each side. Okay. And here I want to change the alignment to left and top. And I'll just write something like this is where the description of the move will be shown. All right. And I'll also increase the font size a bit. That looks okay. So yeah, now we have a table for showing all the moves and a description box. So now from the summary screen script, we have to reference all the fields for showing the move details. And then we can just create a function for showing the move details, right? So first we need to get the reference of all the text needed for showing the move details. Okay, so I'll just take all these texts as a list. So we'll need 3 lists, one for the type, one for the move name, and one for the PP. So let me define 3 lists of text over here. So the first one will be for the type of the move. I'll just call this move types. The next one will be for the move names, and the final one will be for the move PP. Okay. And now we can just create a public function for setting the data onto this text. So let me just create a function called setMoves. And from here, first I'll write a for loop to loop through one of these lists. Okay. So I'll just write for and press tab twice to autocomplete the for loop. And this loop will be from 0 to move names dot count. All right. And from here, we can check if I is less than the number of moves our Pokemon has. So our Pokemon can have less than 4 moves, right? So we have to check this before getting the move. And let me get the move from the moves list of the Pokemon. All right. And then we can show the details of this move in our type, name, and PP text. So first let me show it in the type text. All right. So move types dot text will give us a text in the ith row, and we can just set the type of the move to this. So remember, type is an enum, so we'll have to convert this to string, and I'll also convert this to uppercase because that's how it's shown in UI of Pokemon games. All right, so next I'll show the name of the move. So we can get that from move.base.name. And again, I'll change this to uppercase. And finally, I'll show the PP. Okay, so we need to get the current PP of the move and the maximum PP. So we can get the current PP from move.pp and the maximum PP from move.base.pp. All right. So this will show all the data of the moves. And here, if the I is not less than the number of moves the Pokemon has, then we can just leave these text as blank. So let me just copy these 3 lines, and we can actually show a dash over here to show that it is blank. Okay, so this function will set the data of the mouse. So now we have to call it from the summary state. So from here, first we need to be able to change the pages in the summary screen, right? When the user presses the left and right arrows, we should change the page of the summary screen. Only after that we can show the details of the mouse. All right. So for that, what I'll do is I'll just create a integer variable here called selected page. I'll set it to 0 by default, and we should be able to change the selected page by using the left and right arrow keys. So let me just organize this. This is Pokemon selection. Okay, and we also have to handle page selection from here. So for the page selection, we have to check for left and right arrow keys. Okay, so first we'll check for the left arrow, and then I'll also write an else if condition and check for the right arrow key. Okay, and if the left arrow is pressed, then we have to decrement the selected page, and if the right arrow is pressed, then we have to increment it. So let's do that. Okay, and I'll also mod this by 2 since we only have 2 pages, and if the right arrow is pressed, I'll increment the selected page. Okay, so now if the selected page variable changed, then we also have to change the page that is shown in the summary screen UI. So first we need to check if the selected page changed. So here I'll create a variable called previous page, and I'll set it to selected page by default. And from here, if the selected page changed, then we have to change the page that is being shown in the summary screen UI, right? So I'll just create a function for that called show page, and this will take an integer for the page number. All right, and from here, if the page number is 0, then we have to show the skills page, and otherwise if the page number is 1, then we have to show the mouse page. Okay, so we have to enable and disable the pages. So for that, first we need to get references of those pages. So let me create serialized field variables for that. Okay, so first I'll create a variable to reference the skills page, and then I'll create one for the mouse page. Okay, so if the page number is 0, then we have to show the skills page, and we have to disable the mouse page. Okay, I just wrote false over here. This must be true because we want to enable the skills page, and we have to disable the mouse page. Okay, and from here we have to do the opposite. We have to disable the skills page and enable the mouse page. Okay, so now when we enable the skills page, we can also show the stats and all that by calling the setSkills function. Okay, so we can do it from here itself instead of calling it from the summary state. So let me call that from here. And similarly, when we show the moves page, we can call the set moves function. Okay, so now from the summary state, if the page changed, then we can just call summary screen dot show page and pass the selected page. Okay, and now when we change the Pokemon and all that, we can't just call the set skills function because we might be in the moves page. So instead of this, we have to call the show page function and pass the selected page. All right, and we also have to change it from here in the enter function. We'll just call show page, and then we can just pass the page number. Okay, so this is all you have to do. So now let's go to Unity and assign all the references. So here, first I'll assign the skills page and the moves page. Okay, and then we have to assign all the text in the move page. So let me just lock the inspector, and in the move table, it'll be good to name these columns. So let me just name them real quick. So the first one will be move types. The next one will be move names. And the last one will be move PPs. So now we can select the summary screen and lock the inspector and assign all the text. So first I'll drag and drop all the move type text to the move types field. And then I'll do the same for the move names and move PPs. Okay. So yeah, this is all you have to do. So now I can try testing the moves page in the summary screen. So let me go to the summary screen. And now if I press the right arrow key, you can see that it is changing to the moves page. So yeah, we can change back and forth. And here we are showing all the moves of the Pokemon. And we can also try changing the Pokemon, and the moves should also change. Okay. So here all the Pokemon doesn't have 4 moves. So in that case, the rest of the moves will be shown as blank. Alright. So yeah, we can change the pages. So when we change the pages, I'd also like to change the header because it is showing as Pokemon skills here, even when we are in the moves page. So let's also change the header. So in the summary screen UI, I'll create a text for the page name. Alright, and I'll set it whenever we are changing the page. Okay, so if you're showing the skills page, I'll set it as Pokemon skills, and otherwise I'll set it as Pokemon moves. Alright, and by the way, I also noticed another mistake I made over here. The issue is when we decrement the page, we have to take the absolute value of this. Otherwise, the reminder of mod 2 can be -1, and since we don't have a page number for -1, the page won't be changed. So we can easily fix that by adding a math.abs over here to take the absolute value. Alright, so now let's try testing it. So first we have to assign the page name text to the summary screen UI. So let me do that. And now we can run the game. Okay. So now when I change the page, you can see that the header also changes. All right. We can also change the Pokemon from any page we want. All right. So next, when we go to the moves page and press the action button, then we should be able to select different moves. And based on our selection, we have to update the description and show the power and accuracy of the move and all that. So we'll be doing that in the next video. So I'll stop the video here. Thanks a lot for watching. If you find these videos helpful, please leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And you can also support the series on Patreon if you can afford it. So I'll see you in the next video.